Welcome to Poplified. In today's video, we will delve into the album rollouts of Megan Thee Stallion and Doja Cat's recent releases and examine why they commercially underperformed the way that they did. Before we start, I just have to say that this is not a hate video. If you give this video a chance and just watch it for a few minutes, you will realize that. So please put down the pitchforks. I encourage fans of both Doja and Megan to spend the next 20 minutes with me and digest the points I'm making. I even hope this video reaches the teams of both Megan or Doja, as maybe they can learn something from an eager fan of both who wants to see them progress further in the music industry. Be sure to follow and subscribe to this channel as I endeavor to make more videos like this. Let's begin. At the pinnacle of the Gen Z female rap hierarchy are Megan Thee Stallion and Doja Cat, who both broke through into the scene in 2019 with the singles Big Ol' Freakin' Juicy. They quickly rose to global mainstream fame with their unique musical styles and dynamic online presence, capturing the attention of audiences worldwide and establishing themselves as major players in the music industry. Before comparing them to their peers, I want to give both of them credit for successfully completing sold-out global tours, especially during a time when selling out arenas has become incredibly challenging due to the fact that in this musical climate, it is harder and harder to cultivate a fan base that is ready to spend their hard-earned money on an artist. Their female counterparts in other genres include Dua Lipa in pop and SZA and Summer Walker in R&B. All of these women represent the last generation of music stars who first gained prominence outside of the realm of social media and who have built strong fan bases and cultivated broad appeal among audiences of all ages. However, examining the Billboard charts in 2024 reveals a stark contrast between the commercial success of female rappers and their pop and R&B counterparts. Megan Thee Stallion's self-titled album, released in June of this year, only sold 64,000 copies, of which 16,000 of these were from traditional pure album sales and 48,000 units were from streaming equivalents. She debuted 3 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 that week, the highest one of them placing at number 67. The deluxe version of Doja Cat's 2023 album, which was strategically released on April 5th of this year to coincide with her headlining Coachella Sunday performances, only sold a measly 28,000 units. The album sold less than 500 pure sales and peaked at number 36 on the US iTunes charts. Even with 7 additional songs on the album, the deluxe failed to re-enter the top 20 on the Billboard 200. Scarlett initially spent 4 weeks in the top 20 of the Billboard 200 from October to November 2023. It debuted at number 4, becoming her third top 10 album. It then fell 5 spots down to number 9 in its second week. It fell down the chart again another 4 spots to number 13 in its third week and rebounded back into the top 20 in its sixth week. These are extremely sharp declines, as Doja Cat and Megan both sold over 100,000 copies first week just 1 to 2 album cycles ago. What happened? We will get into the various factors which have contributed to the decline in album sales for these artists. The first glaring issue here is the insufficient promotion leading up to the release. There were a considerable lack of interviews and promotional appearances by Doja and Megan in the weeks leading up to their albums, and this significantly impacted their first week sales. Effective promotion is crucial for building anticipation and generating buzz before an album drops. These women missed a crucial promotional opportunity by not participating in face-to-face interviews leading up to their album releases. Instead of sitting down and speaking to high-profile media outlets to generate interest in their new records, they primarily communicated with fans through Instagram captions and tweets. Even Doja Cat didn't even tweet that much, and her fans were calling her out on it. This lack of broader media presence limited their exposure to mainstream audiences. They failed to build the level of anticipation which is typically associated with major album drops. Doja Cat performed a medley of singles at the Video Music Awards the week before the album dropped, but that was the only mainstream promotional tool used to push the Scarlett album before its September 22nd release. There were no daytime or nighttime talk show spots, no radio interviews, or conversations with streaming platforms like Apple Music. Interviews on talk shows, podcasts, and other platforms could have significantly amplified her visibility during the tracking week, leading to a better first week number than just a mere 72,000 units. Are you enjoying this video so far? If you disagree with something I've said, you are free to challenge or question something in the comments below. Similarly, Megan opened the BET Awards with a medley of songs from her album. She also had a last-minute sit-down interview with Shannon Sharpe, but that was it. However, in Megan's defense, she had sold out venues to perform in Atlanta and Charlotte during the tracking week, so she was extremely busy. But then again, it was Megan's choice to release an album in the middle of a touring leg. Let's talk about magazine covers. Doja covered 2 magazines in the months leading up to Scarlett's September release. Megan covered 3 magazines in the months leading up to her self-titled album release. These are a moderate amount for both artists, but there is always an opportunity for more features. Being featured on the cover of a magazine is highly beneficial. Not only does it showcase an artist's fashion and personal style, but also serves as a powerful marketing tool that draws attention to their album releases. Magazine covers provide a platform for increased visibility and built anticipation, which effectively boosts album sales. Ideally, these magazine features for Megan and Doja should have been timed closer to the album. This helps to leverage recency bias, ensuring that all promotion and media attention directly impact the album's initial commercial performance. The second major issue is that rap music in the US has seen a notable decline in its prominence and influence over the past 5 years, with fewer new stars emerging compared to the past. This shift has led to a reduction in the genre's cultural impact and mainstream presence. This shift has impacted album sales, as the changing dynamics in rap music consumption have led to decreased listener investment, with the focus moving away from in-depth lyrical content and cohesive albums to individual viral tracks and quick hits. Many general listeners are less inclined to consume full-length rap albums. As a result, the reduced emphasis on album artistry and the decline in the genre's cultural prominence have contributed to a general apathy towards buying and streaming albums. As this change in consumer behavior impacts male rappers, it will disproportionately hinder female rappers' ability to achieve sustained commercial success, which is reflected in Megan and Doja's sales. Finally, the third point is ensuring physical copies are available to purchase on time. Pre-ordering physical albums plays a crucial role in boosting initial sales and generating momentum for a release. By offering options such as cassette tapes, CDs, and vinyl records, artists can tap into diverse collector interests and engage dedicated fans who value tangible music formats. Even Nicki Minaj was selling everything she could to get those pure sales up. She went as far as to sell calendars and discounting even the 4 different deluxe, explicit, and clean versions of the digital albums from $12 to $5. She did what she had to do to get that #1 album, and you can best believe her fans bought every single copy available. This tactic is widely utilized by pop stars at every level, with Dua Lipa, Charli XCX, and Taylor Swift being notable examples this year. I even showed previous examples of Beyoncé, Billie Eilish, and Ariana doing this for their recent albums, but they are not on the same level as Doja and Megan. Megan is not a stranger to selling physical products. She has done so for previous singles with Cardi B, and the singles for this album including Cobra, Boa, and Hiss. Megan did put up 3 different CD covers for pre-order for the album, which were all very beautiful. However, the problem here is that these 3 CDs were available to purchase on June 14th, and the album was supposed to be released on June 28th. This late announcement only left a 2-week period for fans to buy them and for pure sales to build up. Having a 2-week window for pre-orders is just way too short. It is inadequate in comparison to the other pop and R&B artists who often drive sales at least 2 months in advance. Let's look at some examples from this year. Dua Lipa's third album was announced in mid-March to be released early May. Vinyls and CDs were available to pre-order at different retailers on the same day it was announced, giving her a total pure sales window of 51 days or 7 weeks. Charli XCX announced her album on 28 February to be released on June 7th. Again, this is a 100-day or 3-month difference. Exclusive vinyls were available to be pre-ordered on the same day. Summer Walker announced her second album a month in advance, giving fans enough time to prepare. There were different covers for the physical and digital editions of the album, making the physical copies a collectible item. Summer Walker also promoted signed CD of the album in the UK, and this led the album to become her highest debuting album in the UK at 5. This is important as hip-hop and R&B music faces greater challenges in achieving commercial success, particularly in European countries like the UK. For comparison, Megan's recent album debuted in the lower positions on the UK charts. Doja Cat's album also failed commercially in the country, lasting only 4 weeks on the chart and failing to outpeak her previous album Planet Her. Her peer, Dua Lipa, debuted her album in the top 3 in the UK and US album charts. Charli XCX did so too. Do you see why an extended period of time for ordering pure sales is essential for a strong debut? Summer Walker also debuted at #1 with her last album, which also saw a sales increase from her previous effort. It also broke a few female streaming records at the time, such as becoming the biggest streaming week for an R&B album ever. And it was the ninth biggest weekly streaming debut in the US of all time with over 200 million on-demand streams. Do you now see why proper anticipation is needed for a huge streaming debut? I hope so with the examples given. Doja Cat does not do any pre-ordering for her physical albums. So despite all of her pop success, everything mentioned here applies to her. Even more than Megan, as Meg did CD for her album, but Doja did absolutely nothing for Scarlett. So what's next for both Megan and Doja? I hope this video doesn't come across as harsh or overly critical on the artists, as I am actually quite fond of both. At a time when mainstream Black pop stars are becoming less and less prevalent and are losing ubiquity among global audiences, I am creating this video to support these two at the moment in their careers. I will give some brief recommendations as to what these talented women should do next to help sustain their fame and rise even further as this generation's female rap superstars. Firstly, I want to commend Doja and Megan for securing long-term brand deals and becoming global ambassadors for major companies. This highlights their immense influence and reach beyond the music industry. They have done exceedingly well in garnering endorsements since breaking into the mainstream a few years ago, and I hope they keep fostering relationships with global brands to help push their names further into the industry. Doja has headlined Coachella, the most known music festival in the world, and become a rising star in fashion with her provocative looks both off and on the stage. More importantly, she has sparked conversations about desirability and challenged traditional hair care norms within the Black community by shaving her head bald and maintaining this look throughout the era. My advice for her is not necessarily regarding music output. She has demonstrated remarkable talent in crafting versatile pop and rap songs. I would like her to present a more approachable demeanor on social media. In this video, we did not address personal controversies, as every artist inevitably encounters their own, and these issues are unique to each individual. However, some of her recent negative public perception stems from frequent outbursts online, which could be mitigated with help from management, a route Doja should consider exploring. I would like her to tone down her meme persona, as this side of her affects her credibility and prevents her from being taken seriously as an artist. Doja's failure to be taken seriously as an artist has contributed to her limited award successes. This can be seen in her minimal Grammy wins, despite having immense critical acclaim and a proven commercial track performance to support multiple wins every year. This is an area that I believe can be addressed and improved upon. Here are a few of her commercial achievements. I would finally like to see Doja discuss her knowledge and expertise on music theory and production, as we have seen her produce songs from her bedroom that have become fan favorites to this day and received the loudest fan engagement at her live shows. I'm talking about Tia Tamera for those who don't know. Doja needs to give us more insight about her inspirations behind making certain songs. This sentiment echoes from my previous statements about her lack of interviews about an album before it is released for consumption. And yes, I know Doja did interviews with major platforms like BBC Radio 1 and Apple Music, which you can find and watch now on YouTube. But these were uploaded in November and December 2023, which was after the release of Scarlett. Throughout this video, I'm specifically talking about promotion that was done and uploaded before the album was released. I would also like to see her develop her interest in gaming, as she seems to be very good at playing console games. She goes on live a lot and interacts with her fans while playing these games. This is very good for her, and I would like to see more of it. As of the time this video was edited, it is the last week of August 2024, and we are still in the Megan era, so we have to keep our eyes peeled for what's in store. I have enjoyed following Megan's movements following the release of the album. A week after the album dropped, Megan appeared on the first episode of the new season of Celebrity Family Feud. I was seated, and I watched it all the way through. As expected, clips of this episode went super viral on TikTok, X, and Instagram Reels. It is nice to see that despite the hate, Megan still remains a viral sensation on social media platforms. Megan recently starred in her own Amazon Prime commercial, which played across television screens in the first 2 weeks of July. The merchandise for the Hot Girl Summer Tour was also distributed through Amazon, so again, we love to see Megan fostering a relationship with a huge conglomerate like Amazon. At the end of July, Democratic nominee Kamala Harris invited Megan to open up her rally in Georgia, Atlanta. This follows her 3 sold-out arena shows in the state during the U.S. leg of her Hot Girl Summer Tour. While this appearance was met with some criticism, the polls showed that Kamala was leading Trump in Georgia after her rally with Megan and Quavo. So, in the end, this was a great look for Meg.
What's up, honey? This is your girl, Meg the Stallion, aka the Hot Girl Coach, reporting live with the future president of the United States.
Everybody,
what do you have to say to the American people?
we are not going back.
It was just announced this week that Megan will be hosting the 2024 Video Music Awards. This is an amazing look for her. Not only will she be performing, but she has 5 nominations and could possibly win one during the show, too. This would be Megan's first VMA since 2020, which is absolutely crazy to think about as she has consistently been delivering solid music videos with different concepts and themes this entire decade. Meg hasn't missed once. Musically, I would like her to rap on some lighter, more rhythmically focused beats. I believe this is where she shines the most. I would also like her to get better playlisting for her music, just so in the future she receives better streaming outcomes for her singles. Despite being a huge streaming hit and peaking in the top 50 on the global Spotify charts, Mamushi was only stuck at the bottom of Spotify's Today's Top Hits playlist. Let's get into it. Without any playlist support, Mamushi debuted at number 71 on the Spotify Global Weekly Charts with 12.6 million streams that week from July 5th to July 11th. The week after, Mamushi rose 20 spots to number 51 on the Spotify Global Weekly Charts with 15 million streams from July 12th to July 18th. It was only then, on July 19th, that the song was added to Spotify's biggest playlist. This was extremely low, as it was only added at number 40 out of a possible 50 spots. Despite the low add to the playlist, Mamushi rose another 10 spots to number 41 on the chart with over 16 million streams from July 19th to July 25th. Despite this gain, Mamushi only rose 3 spots on the playlist, from number 40 to number 37. At this point, Mamushi was outstreaming other songs above it, however, its position was virtually unchanged on Today's Top Hits. Mamushi was added to some other playlists, but they are not as strong as Today's Top Hits, which is the main global driver for streaming success on the platform. In the weeks after that, Mamushi remained stable in streams and to this day has not dropped less than 12 million global weekly streams. However, it did not get any more support from Spotify after those initial 2 weeks. This can be seen as a form of sabotage, as other pop and rap artists have huge editorial playlist support regardless of what the streams give. Even though this is unfair, this is the business of the streaming economy, and this is what every artist has to just abide with. Let's compare Mamushi to some other recent female rap hits. Nicki Minaj's standout track FTCU from her latest album debuted at number 99 on the Spotify Global Weekly Charts with 11.2 million streams from December 15th to December 21st. The next day, Nicki Minaj's FTCU was at number 1 on Spotify's Today's Top Hits playlist. She was even featured on the playlist cover. From then on, FTCU's weekly global streams never even reached to 12 million, however, Nicki was still featured on prominent Spotify playlists. These playlists have millions of saves, such as Hot Rhythmic, Rap Caviar, and Get Turned. Is this payola? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. With this, she managed to stay stable around 10 million streams. Despite all the playlist coverage and the promotion Nicki was doing, FTCU never reached Mamushi's peak on Spotify Global, neither the daily or the weekly charts. Even Doja Cat's promotional single Demons was added to number 9 on Today's Top Hits and number 3 on Rap Caviar, yet only managed to do 10.7 million weekly streams. Nicki Minaj's FTCU did more than this. As it stands right now, Mamushi is number 45 on Spotify's Today's Top Hits. I doubt it will get any higher playlisting even after Megan's VMA's hosting gig and performance. This is just one example of how the Spotify editorial system unfairly treats certain artists. However, I will definitely make more videos about this, so be sure to subscribe to this channel. By the way, we didn't touch on Apple Music playlisting because it is a lot more difficult to explain. It is a more organic platform, meaning playlisting doesn't have that large of an effect on streams. Mamushi peaked in the top 20 in the US on Apple Music in late July. To summarize this video, Megan and Doja both have work to do on pushing their careers forward so that they do not fall behind their peers commercially. However, they are at the top of their games female rap-wise, and it is so commendable to see that they have become household name superstars in just a few years of proper mainstream attention. If you would like an in-depth solo video on the Megan or the Scarlet era, just leave a like and a comment below and I will 100% get to it. This channel has been made to explore pop and rap stardom in a way not discussed before. I am excited to grow an audience and help music commentary develop further past misogynistic shade. Be sure to give me a follow and turn on my video notifications so you never miss a video on this channel. Our next video will be analyzing the Radical Optimism era by Dua Lipa. It has just left the Billboard 200 after 15 brief weeks compared to 2020's Future Nostalgia album, which is still charting to this day. It'll definitely be an interesting conversation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.